Your brain isn't broken. We're going to talk about some of those weird, kind of embarrassing, and let's be honest, frustrating things your brain does. And we'll discover why they might not be flaws at all, but actually hidden features.
Oh, we've all been there, right? That moment of pure blank space where a name should be. It is so awkward. You get that little jolt of panic, and you feel like you just failed the most basic social test there is.
Or maybe you're in the car and you finally come up with that perfect, crushing comeback to your boss for something they said 3 weeks ago. Yeah, you're not alone in that little imaginary debate club. And this one, oh, this one cuts deep. That feeling that you're just getting away with it, that any second someone's going to pull back the curtain and reveal to everyone that you have no idea what you're doing, even if all the evidence says you do. If you saw yourself in any of that, you've probably spent some time judging yourself for it. But what if these aren't signs of a faulty system? What if they're actually features, not bugs? Let's get into it. So let's tackle that first one, forgetting names. The story we tell ourselves is pretty harsh. We think, I must be rude, or I just don't care enough to remember. But you know what? The psychology behind it tells a very, very different story. And this quote just nails that feeling, doesn't it? It's not just a memory lapse, it's a full-blown social crisis. You're suddenly the star of a really bad play, just hoping someone throws you a line. That feeling of shame is so powerful, but it's completely misplaced. So the real reason names are so slippery comes down to this fascinating idea called the baker/baker paradox. Think of it like this. If I tell you a man is a baker, your brain lights up with connections. Flour, bread, hats, aprons. But if I tell you his name is Baker, it's just a sound. It doesn't connect to anything. Your brain is an efficiency machine, and it's always going to prioritize that web of meaning over some random, rootless sound. And it gets worse. If you're even a little bit inside your own head, you get hit by what's called the next in line effect. While someone is telling you their name, you're not really listening. You're busy with your own internal monologue. Am I making eye contact? Is my handshake weird? What am I going to say next? By the time their name actually arrives, your brain's bouncer has already put up the velvet rope. The club is full. You're just not there to receive it. So here's the bottom line. You probably don't have a memory problem, you have a preoccupation problem. You're not rude, your brain is just a ruthless prioritizer that's working under pressure. It's not some kind of moral failing, it's just a cognitive reality. Okay, on to our second myth. This one moves away from social stuff and into our rich inner lives. The idea that if you disappear into imaginary scenarios, you're lazy or just an escapist. This quote captures it perfectly. For people who do this a lot, it's not just daydreaming. It's a real, detailed inner world that gives them a sense of relief that, let's face it, the real world sometimes just can't. So what's going on in the brain here? Well, it's your default mode network. This is the part of your brain that kicks on when you're not laser focused on a task. Its job is to simulate, remember, and plan. For some people, this network just becomes the most comfortable place to be, the spot their brain finds most rewarding. And why is it so rewarding? Because in these worlds, you get things that are super rare in real life. You get control, you can go back and edit the script, you get emotional resolution, that other person finally gets it, and you can feel connected to others without the terrifying risk of actual human vulnerability. So here's the reframe. This isn't just you avoiding your life. This is your brain pulling off a remarkable act of creative adaptation. At some point, it needed a safe space that the real world wasn't giving it, so it just built one. It's not a flaw. It's a fortress. And that brings us to our third and final myth, the feeling that you're a walking contradiction. You know, the person who can solve some super complex problem but has no idea where they put their keys 2 minutes ago. This is such a powerful idea. We assume that being really smart comes with unshakable confidence. But so often, the exact opposite is true. That feeling of being a fraud is practically a signature of being highly competent. So why is that? It's because true expertise shows you the sheer vastness of what you don't know. A novice looks at a pond and sees water. An expert sees an entire complex ecosystem with currents they haven't even mapped yet. It's that deep understanding that fuels the self-doubt, not a lack of knowledge. So the things we think of as our flaws are actually just byproducts of having a high-powered cognitive machine. The self-doubt, it comes from that deep awareness of complexity. The anxiety, well, a powerful brain is just better at running simulations of everything that could possibly go wrong. And forgetting your keys? That happens because your brain decided that solving an abstract problem was a much better use of its resources than tracking a small piece of metal.
So the takeaway is this. You're not brilliant but a mess. Your brain is simply running a very powerful but very resource-intensive operating system. It's like having a top-of-the-line gaming PC. It can do incredible things, but it also overheats, uses a ton of energy, and sometimes crashes when you ask it to do something simple.
So when we put all three of these so-called flaws together, forgetting names, retreating into daydreams, feeling like a fraud, we start to see that they aren't random glitches. They all point to a deeper logic in how your brain actually works.
And this is the key. We think of our minds as hard drives, just faithfully recording data. But they're not. They're way more like impressionist painters, capturing the feeling, the pattern, the emotional core of something, and ruthlessly throwing out all the details it decides are unimportant.
Your brain isn't broken. It's an active survival machine that is constantly making calculated decisions, usually without asking you first, about what's worth your energy and attention. It's designed to keep you safe and help you navigate a crazy world, and sometimes that means it does things that just feel strange from the inside. And that leaves us with one last question. What if you started looking at these quirks not as proof that you're broken, but as the unique, undeniable signature of how your particular brain is wired to work? What if they're actually clues to your greatest strengths, not your weaknesses?